Okay. Gonna get ready to do our class in a couple minutes. Hope you can join us. Share this with your friends. We're gonna be jumping onto the Amadeus Aromatherapy Facebook page now, so we can share it with our followers as well. We're gonna wait a minute or two and we're gonna get going.
I'm gonna turn this down so I can.
So we don't have the back.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
There's 5.
Okay. Bear with us just 1 or 2 minutes and we will jump right onto our live class, Rest and Relax tonight. Get some note paper out and you can write down some notes. You can follow our recipe and change it to your liking, and we'll talk about everything that's out here tonight, and we'll be all ready to go. Give us 1 minute. Okay. That's us and that's them? Or was that all together?
I don't know.
Okay.
You ready? Start. 2 minutes.
All right. It's going to start in 2 minutes. Want to make sure everybody can jump on that wants to. That's the same as up there, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. If you have questions or want to let us know you're on, please use the chat box. Debbie Knopf, we're so excited to see you. See you on the computer at least, right? You get to see me and Megan tonight. So happy for that. So Megan will be monitoring any questions or comments that come in to the best of her ability. So if for some reason we don't get to you, please don't be upset. We will try our best to get to everybody. And we're gonna start. Are you ready? All right. Well, my name is Tara Penske.
And my name's Megan.
And we own Amadeus Aromatherapy. Welcome to our kitchen dining room area tonight. We are very fortunate that Peter Bauman, who is the program coordinator at Hazel Library, has asked us to run this program tonight. So thank you very much to the Hazel Library for giving us this opportunity. We want to welcome everybody who is joining us from all over the place. We have definitely friends from, I know, out in Queens and right in Miller Place and Sayville and all over the island. And thank you so very much. We may even pick up 1 or 2 of our international friends, we're hoping, although it is a little bit late for them in some cases, depending what country they're in. So we're going to jump right into our class tonight. Tonight is about rest and relax with aromatherapy. We are living in very anxiety-ridden times. People are really very anxious, and if you don't believe me, take a drive out on any major roadway and you can see just how they're driving. Well, aromatherapy, which is the art and science of using essential oils, aromatherapy has some sort of solution, if you will, to calming our nerves, to helping us to relax, and also offering us this sense of restful peace. Again, we're living in very uncertain times, so why not create products that are nature-based that will help us to control the environment a little bit. Now, aromatherapy is an alternative type of medicine. It is not an end-all, and certainly we always tell people, if you are not feeling well, if you are having recurring issues with anxiety, with sleeplessness, things of that nature, please consult a doctor. Nothing we discuss in this class tonight replaces any medical advice. Alrighty? So we're going to make this very simple. We're going to use 3 essential oils tonight: lavender, Roman chamomile, and a very nice deep exotic oil called Chang, which some of you may have heard of, especially if you burn incense. This is just gorgeous. We'll talk a little bit about them as we go. We're going to also use jojoba oil, which will be our carrier oil. And a carrier oil is a product that allows essential oils to be safely delivered into our body. Safety is our #1 concern. We'll also be using distilled water. So what do you want to do right away? Do you want to make a lotion, Megan, or do you want to do the spray?
Let's do the spray.
We'll do the spray. We always leave it up to Megan. Megan, if you have never been with us at our Amadeus Aromatherapy, Megan creates most of our recipes. You will see her doing most of the running around during our classes. She is cooking for the classes if we're doing any kind of balms, lip balms, body balms, anything like that. I always leave the cooking up to Megan, and she's pretty good with it, and you'll see her setting everything up and breaking everything down and getting product out to people. So hopefully one day soon we will be back together with you, and you will get to see her in person if we haven't met you already. So let's get started, Megan. We're going to start with, in this case, I'm going to use a 4-ounce bottle. Now, these bottles are PET plastic. You can use a glass bottle, or you can use plastic. We recommend something called PET plastic. PET like an animal, P-E-T. And why? Well, regular plastic breaks down. And if I can give you an example, a regular old bottle of Poland Spring water, let's just say, or any generic brand that you want, is not made from PET plastic. If you leave it in the cold in your car, if you forget it when you're at the beach and it stays in the car, and you go to drink it, you know, especially on a hot day when you're thirsty, you say, I don't even care what it's going to taste like, or if it's cold, but if you do go to drink it, you're going to notice the taste is off. It almost tastes like chemicals. It is chemicals. The plastic has already started to break down, even after a few minutes. So we're very concerned about that. If I use a dark glass bottle, and I'll explain the color in 1 second, I won't have an issue. If I use PET plastic, I won't either, because PET plastic is environmentally friendly and does not break down. Now, really, we love the environmentally friendly aspect, but as an aromatherapist, the reason we don't want our plastic breaking down is because it will interact with our essential oils and it will cause them to go rancid. And we don't want that. We want our essential oils to stay fresh. We want them to stay as long as they can, as vital as they can, and as effective as they can. So in our case, we use a dark blue bottle, and the cobalt blue happens to be the color of Amadeus Aromatherapy. It's just a color that we love. You will see bottles in green, brown, what else?
Purple.
We've seen purple, red. Oh, the red ones are pretty. I will say they are pretty. They're like a ruby red. You want a dark color. And the reason we want that, we want a PET plastic or glass bottle because we want to make sure that there's no interaction with the essential oils. And we want a dark colored bottle because we don't want light to affect the oils either. The main idea here is to keep our oils as fresh and as effective as possible and for as long as we can. So you want a product that's going to block out light. We also will talk a little bit about storing products as we go, but if I can quickly take a moment, we store ours in a refrigerator if we can. There's something really nice about a cold spritz of any of these products that feels terrific, a cold lotion. If you cannot do that, or you don't feel that you want to, stick it in a spot that is away from direct sunlight. Keep it in a nice cool spot, either in a cabinet, maybe in a, on a shelf somewhere. Don't stick it on your windowsill where light is going to affect it, or heat. Heat and light are the enemies of essential oils. All right, that said, we've got all that laid out now. Here we go. We've got a 4-ounce bottle, and we have a little spritzer. Nate, do you want to maybe go show everybody? Megan's going to take a trip over to the camera for you. And we have a little spritzer. Now, these you can get anywhere. You can get these at cosmetic stores. You can get them we use a company called SKS Packaging. They are right out of Pennsylvania. We like to use local when we can. They are wonderful. Uline, U-L-I-N-E. Packaging is another terrific company. They're very local also. You may recognize them if you are a Yankees fan. Uline always has a gigantic advertisement, one of the billboards, right at the back of center field, so they're always in focus. They're a great company as well, very local, very quick, very effective. Their prices are very fair, same as SKS. But again, you can find these around. Now, people will say to us, well, how many do I buy? Usually, the more you buy, the cheaper the product. But I have to tell you something, don't go out and buy 5,000 of them or 100 because you might not use them. These can be cleaned out. Again, they are environmentally friendly and you can sanitize them as you would a baby bottle and use them again. Same with glass bottles. So go out, you know, you buy 5 or 10 or whatever it is, you learn how to make this, give it to your friends, take one to work, leave one, you know, in your bedroom, whatever the case is. All right, enough of bottles, Megan. Let's get going. So I'm gonna move our unscented lotion out of the way for the moment. We're going to take our bottle, we're gonna take our bottle and put our funnel right on top of it, and Megan is going to pour in. Now you wanna, I'm gonna tell you up front, if you're using a funnel that's this large, you wanna hold on to it. Megan is going to pour in about 3.5 ounces of distilled water. You're good, keep going. Part of the fun with using the funnel is that sometimes the product actually gets stuck, like the water will get stuck, the lotion will get stuck. You just simply have to lift it up a little bit. Why distilled water? Well, here's this interaction issue going on again. Distilled water has all of the minerals and metals that you find in natural tap water boiled out of it. So if I can give you an example, if you hear in an area that there has been a water main break, and we sometimes hear this on the news often, they are telling people boil your water. And boiling the water is a quick, easy way of kind of getting rid of any impurities, any metals, any minerals that would be naturally occurring in our water. It's not the most effective way, but it works. That's the same concept here. On Long Island, we have the aquifer below us. That is how we get our water source. That's the water that comes out of your tap truly comes from beneath the ground. There are naturally occurring metals and minerals, and they are not at all harmful to humans. However, they do not mix well with essential oils. Again, here's that concept of we want to make sure our oils and whatever product we mix them in with do not cause something to go rancid. So we always use distilled water. You can get distilled water anywhere from 49 cents to, we've seen it for $1.79. That's highway robbery. Do not spend $1.79 on a gallon of distilled water. Usually you can get it anywhere. You can get them at pharmacies, grocery stores, you name it. Even your local, corner shop may have distilled water. A lot of people that are on nebulizers or on any kind of sleep machine, maybe they need something for snoring, if they have any kind of sleep apnea issue, are very familiar with distilled water because you need that for the different apparatuses, the different machines that you need. So look around there. It's easy to find, and again, don't break the bank buying it because it's not something usually should cost too much money. So we want our distilled water in here, 3.5 ounces of distilled water. And now we want to put in a product that's going to blend nicely with our essential oils. In this case, we're going to use what will be about 2 teaspoons of jojoba oil. Now 2 teaspoons for us is about 6 pumps from this bottle. This bottle happens to be calibrated, the pump on it, so it's just by dumb luck. But if you have to use a teaspoon, you use a teaspoon. It's really that easy. Let's talk about jojoba oil for a second. Megan, if you have any questions as we go, just interrupt me. Okay, yeah, if you have questions, just type them in and we'll answer them. Jojoba oil, similar to olive oil, grapeseed oil, sweet almond oil. They're beautiful oils. You can cook with all of those. You can cook with jojoba too, believe it or not. But it's a little different. We want to use jojoba oil because there are certain attributes that we use in aromatherapy that we can't get from sweet almond oil, from olive oil, from grapeseed oil. They all have a place in aromatherapy. They all have a place in soaping. If you ever talk to us at great length, we're also handmade soapers. We make soap, by hand, cold process soap. But the reason that we want jojoba is because there's so many different reasons. One, it is a product that is hypoallergenic, which means most people are not allergic to it. We don't know your medical background, so we come to classes, we're here live on Facebook, and we are teaching to people whose medical backgrounds we don't know. We don't know what kind of medicine you might be on, so forth and so on. We definitely want a product that is hypoallergenic so that we will not have any kind of interactions with people's allergies or anything like that. We know jojoba is extremely safe to use. It is safe to consume, again, as you would an olive oil. Jojoba is a fixative. And a fixative means that although it has a slight scent to it, what do people describe it as sometimes?
Sometimes woodsy.
Yeah, it's almost got a little woody, since we had someone tell us it smelled like a barbecue one time. That concerned us. Although we called the company, they said, no, it's perfectly normal. We get all sorts of descriptions. A little woody, nutty, sometimes, because it does come from the jojoba seed, which is similar to a nut. So the thing with a fixative is any scent you might smell, while slight as it is, it will not transfer into the product. What it does instead is jojoba will look for heavier molecules. In this case, our essential oils, because they are heavy molecules, and it will attach itself to those heavy molecules and ramp up their smell. So the scent of 1 drop of lavender, when I use jojoba, will smell like 2 or 3 drops of lavender. So it's kind of nice because it adds a stronger scent, and yet you're not getting an overdosage, so to speak, of essential oil. So that's another reason we love it. Jojoba is also a beautiful product. It tries to balance the pH, so it tries to mimic the second layer or second shelf of your skin, which is the sebaceous gland. It will clean out toxins, blackheads, whiteheads, acne. It's a beautiful product that way. It's great for people who have maybe drier skin. If you're in that category, it's a wonderful, wonderful moisturizer. It cleans the skin. Every single day I take a little bit of jojoba and a little bit of brown sugar, and I make a mixture. And here I'm a soap maker, right? I don't use soap on my face. I take a little mixture. I pour maybe a drop of tea tree or lavender. Sometimes I don't use any oil at all. It depends on my morning. And I rub it together, put a little bit of water, and I clean my face as I would with soap and just wash it off. And you always want to pat it dry. So it cleans the skin. It gets rid of bacteria on the skin. It will tone the skin, and it moisturizes the skin. And on top of that, it heals the skin because it's also something called a humican. We got a lot of vocab words in here today. A humican is a product that attracts moisture and locks it in. So your skin now is getting this beautiful moisturizing feeling that does not feel heavy and thick. It actually absorbs right in. I'll give you a little trade secret. We call it jojoba oil, but jojoba oil is actually a liquefied wax. Think of a very natural version of like a paraffin. You know, if you've ever had paraffin and you take it off, your skin feels so soft. That is how jojoba feels. It's wonderful. We want it in our product for all those reasons. But here's my other reason. It never goes rancid. It has a forever shelf life, and it does not stain. The spray that we're making right now, we're going to tell you to use it on your linens, to use it on you, you know, as you're walking out of the house, so it won't get on your clothes and stain. That is the other glory of using jojoba. It's a beautiful, beautiful product. So we want that in here. So we have right now, we have water and we have jojoba. It reminds me a little bit of like a salad dressing. If you've ever made like Italian salad dressing with the vinegar and water kind of thing, you want to mix it because oil and water do not mix. Obviously they separate. So you're always going to want to mix this product. Now, why use it like this if it separates? Well, I want to shake it, but that jojoba is going to cling on to the essential oils, and it's going to help blend our product together. Now, people will say, well, can I use jojoba if it doesn't go rancid as I would a preservative? You can to a degree, but this product, we're going to tell you, has a shelf life of a month. We do not stick any preservatives, so to speak, in our product. The jojoba will extend the shelf life. You want to extend it a little bit more. Stick it in a nice cool refrigerator, and this way again you won't have the issue with the heat. You know, we know that we use our product a little bit longer than that, but we always tell people safety is our #1 concern. So don't make gallons of this, make them in small batches. They're very, very easy, and you've got about a month to use this. All right, so Megan, let's jump into our essential oils. And again, if you have any questions, you just let us know. All right, so we're using 3 essential oils tonight. One is lavender, and of course I brought my lavender with me here tonight. My lavender outside is doing very, very well. And if you're never sure when to pick lavender, watch the bees and the butterflies. The bugs will always tell you what is going on. Our insects are our indicator. My lavender this week really took hold. I've noticed that the buds have opened. They look absolutely gorgeous and really thick and really deep purple, and the bees are on them. The moment the bees set on flowers, that is when flowers tend to be at their ripest. Bees, bugs, insects will not really spend a lot of their time on flowers that aren't quite ripe yet. They want the quickest, best source of energy and source of nutrition for themselves. So they will spend their time searching out the best flowers, the most ripe. So right now, this week, if we were going to go pick our lavender, which I have to tell you, I think this year we're going to leave it alone. My lavender's done really well. I kind of just want to leave it and let it get a little bit bigger. This would be the week to do it. Some of you maybe have traveled out to some of the lavender farms. There's certainly one out in Laurel, out by Mattatuck, and that same farm has a place in Riverhead these days, which is really nice and accessible. It's right across the street from Splish Splash, if you guys know where that is out in Riverhead. Anyway, let's talk about lavender itself, because we just love to have lavender around. Lavender essential oil is the #1 sold oil in the entire world. It is the most popular. Many people know it for its scent. A lot of people ask us about French lavender. Aromatherapists, the lavender of choice is something called Bulgarian lavender. Bulgarian lavender it's beautiful. It has wonderful benefits in aromatherapy, but it smells a little medicinal. So we actually love something called cashmere lavender. It has the same exact benefits, and we'll discuss them in a second, but it smells a little bit sweeter. And people in our classes will say, well, what about French lavender or Provençal lavender? Beautiful, very sweet. It has a place in aromatherapy, but that is the oil of perfumers, believe it or not. And there are definitely places for it to be used in aromatherapy. There are 27 different types of lavender essential oil that can be used in aromatherapy, if you can believe that. We should just do a class on lavenders. We choose cashmere, and as I mentioned, there are probably about 250 uses. So we're looking for a rest and relax spray. Lavender essential oil is believed to have sedative-like effects on the central nervous system. So we want a product that's going to calm us down. Lavender is antibacterial, it is antifungal, it is antimicrobial, and it is believed to be antiviral, but does not treat every single virus out there. So we want to make sure that you're not buying up lavender thinking that it's going to go after something like COVID-19 when we don't really know necessarily what kills that virus at this time. So just know that it definitely does treat some viruses. It is believed to do so. We want it for its sedative-like effects. Lavender is an essential oil that physically calms us down. Now, as aromatherapists, we look for the physical, the emotional, and even the spiritual use of essential oils. So these beautiful chemical components of plants, known as essential oils, can help us physically and emotionally in this case. Physically, it's going to truly calm us down. Lavender is also an anti-inflammatory. It is a pain reliever. It is an inflammation reducer, as I've just mentioned to you. It does so many beautiful things. It's great for muscles. It's great for burns. If you've ever heard anything about the first aromatherapists, which we know actually date back to ancient times, but the modern aromatherapists were using essential oils during World War I to treat burn wounds on soldiers, and that was out in France. So I keep lavender here. If you've ever seen me in a kitchen or heard any stories, I can be dangerous. So I keep both aloe. This is one of my aloe plants, and if you get a close look, I have cut off aloe from here. Nick, you want to grab the other one really quick. We have regular aloe plants, and then on top of it, we make our own aloe. And then when we do that, we use, this is a gigantic olive frond, and this is actually for another class for another time, actually on Friday, but we keep aloe around for that reason. It mixes very, very nicely with lavender essential oil. We want it tonight for its calming effects. We want it because it's going to reduce anxiety. We want it because it's going to reduce any kind of, this time of year, a lot of people have allergies. It's going to help us breathe a little bit better. We want it because it's going to help us get into a beautiful dreamlike state. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to put 5 drops, actually we're going to put 7 drops into our jar. Now, you use the company that you want. Every company is a little different, and their bottles are all a little bit different. So company to company, they sometimes pour out a little faster than others, so you get used to these different companies. Also, the thickness of your essential oil. Lavender is a very light, very easy essential oil to work with. It's also called something known as a top note, so it evaporates very quickly, but it's not very thick or resinous, so it pours out very fast as well. And you'll notice when Megan goes to pour things in, she's trying to really see how many drops are going in there. All right, so we want about 7 drops. Now for us, 5 drops per ounce is very safe, but we're using a water-based product and we can get away with a little bit more. So we're going to use 7 of that. And we have our lavender buds here too. Our next product is a little bit different. And if you love sleepy time tea, Roman chamomile is for you, because that is the basis for sleepy time tea. Meg's going to come up and she'll show you. This is the time of year when, if you are someone that grows chamomile, this is where Roman chamomile is harvested this time of year. And it's just an absolutely beautiful, gorgeous herb. It is a great substitute for lavender. If you don't like lavender or you don't have lavender, Roman chamomile is wonderful. When they are combined together, it is pure heaven. It is absolutely the sweetest, nicest blend. Roman chamomile, antibacterial, antifungal, antimicrobial. So these are products that are cleaning the air around you as you're using them. It also has a sedative-like effect on the central nervous system. So it calms us down. Again, that's the premise for sleepy time tea. I'm a big tea drinker. I love sleepy time tea. If you get hold of Roman chamomile in this form, in this little already broken down form where you just have the buds, you can actually make your either own infusion or make your own tea from it. It's wonderful. So many uses. Aromatherapy crosses into so many other little arts and sciences. I just love it. So we're going to put in 5 drops of Roman chamomile. Actually, again, I'm going to say 7. I'm up in my recipe here just because I'm blending it to the specs that we want. So 7 drops. We may have a... Oh, I see. Is that Megan on?
No.
Megan's not on. Okay. I don't have my glasses on, so I'm looking at myself on the camera. Can't see a thing except what's right in front of me here. All right, so we're going to blend those 2 together. Now, I could leave this as is. I could obviously put the top on. I could mix it up, and it will have a very beautiful, sweet, flowery, very delicate, very feminine smell to it. And I could spritz that on, let's say, our linens, and I will definitely get a very nice effect. I'll feel calm, so forth and so on. But I'll smell the lavender and I'll smell the Roman chamomile as though they are completely separate oils. I'll be able to truly identify them. I want a blend. I want something that's going to be a very, very nice mix. I want something that is going to smell like it has, come right out of the factories of France or something like that, and at the same time know that I'm truly controlling what's going on. Tonight, I am going to use a 3rd essential oil. Now, a trick of the trade is if you want oils that are going to blend together, you want to bridge them or marry their scents, use a citrus. Sometimes we use sweet orange. Sometimes I'll use a little lemon. Lemon lifts flavor up just like it does in cooking. Tonight, I want to use something called Chang. Meg, I'm going to ask you to, again, walk up to the camera and just show people. Chang, M-A-Y, separate words, C-H-A-N-G. And Chang is a gorgeous, very exotic, citrusy oil. It smells a little bit like lemongrass, a little bit like citronella, and yet it's got a real lemony scent to it. It's a little deeper. It's very exotic. It is antibacterial, antifungal. It is emotionally just such a great stress reliever. It is one of those oils that allows us to clear our mind. So I have an oil that's going to emotionally just say, you know what, day is over, let me get to sleep, or let me take 5 minutes to myself, clear my head, that's what Chang does, and let me relax. And that is what our Roman chamomile and our lavender are doing. Together, when blended, they smell amazing. But remember, when we use aromatherapy, we want to blend for intention. Why am I using these different oils? Well, together, they are a very powerful recipe for resting and relaxing. And that's what we're going after here. Every recipe that we create, when Megan and I sit down, we smell different oils, we'll say, well, that's a nice blend, but what is it going to do for people? What is it going to do for us? So that is why we want our Chang. Megan is going to put, in this particular case, we're going to just blend this equal amounts. You can mess around with this however you want, tweak this to your liking. If you don't want to look for Chang and you have sweet orange oil, that's a great substitute. Lemon is a great substitute as well. Grapefruit is a wonderful substitute. Citronella, if you have citronella essential oil. If you have Oh gosh, Yang Yang is another really, really, really nice essential oil. And now we've got our 3 oils. We've got our distilled water, and we have our jojoba. And we're going to shake this up. I'm looking around to see. So the funny thing is when we work in our soap room, there are no animals allowed in there. When we work doing a live class, 2 dogs are outside. There's another dog right under our feet that we're both looking to make sure we don't go tripping over. And the cat has decided it would be a good idea to wake up. So, gosh only knows. We can't do any second takes on this, Peter Bauman. So hopefully it works. All right, so I've shaken this up. Now, when you go to use a brand new spritzer, Megan thinks I'm going to hit her, you want to make sure you pump it. So it's going to take a couple times. You know it's new if you have to pump it. All right, and all you want to do is spray that into the air. It's a nice scent. Very good. Okay, here's what we want to do with this spray. So what do we do with it? We've got our recipe. Megan, give us an idea of some of the things that we can do with our beautiful Rest and Relax spray.
You can use it as a room spray. You can spray it on your linens. A body spray.
Body spray, perfume spray. Let's talk about the linens. A lot of people use lavender, Roman chamomile, and May Chang, believe it or not, because May Chang, although it is uplifting because it has that citrusy smell, it also has a very relaxing scent to it, which is very nice. So you're not like really bouncing off the walls like some citruses can really make you extremely uplifted, and we want to go to bed at this point, or we want to relax and watch a show or whatever, read a book. What you want to do when you're using this for a linen spray is you want to sort of set a pattern, a very specific pattern. If you're someone who has trouble going to sleep at night, patterns of behavior are actually really, really important things. You should be going to bed, they say, around the same time every night. You know, you should be making sure you eat a certain time way ahead before you go to sleep so that the food isn't bothering you at night. It's really about routine. If you are going to use this spray or a spray you create yourself or something that maybe you find, you know, somewhere else, you want to spray it on your linens an hour and a half before you go into bed. So let us make believe this is our bed. I want to come along, and this is real essential oil, so it's extremely powerful. It's not synthetic, it's not fake, it doesn't smell and has no effect. It has a true effect. So let's say this is our pillow. Megan, I'm going to ask you just to step back so I don't squirt you, and you can tell people the mother's squirting her. I'm going to go a spritz or 2 on my pillow, 1 down maybe in the middle, and maybe 1 at my feet. That's it. 3 or 4. If you are spraying and spraying and spraying, what's going to happen is the lavender and the Roman chamomile are actually going to act as stimulants as opposed to relaxers. So you want to be really careful. You do not need to douse this. We actually want it to dissipate a little bit so that it's up in the air. It'll be on your linens, but it's also going to evaporate a little, and it'll be up in the air. About an hour and a half beforehand gives us that amount of time. Now let's say, Megan, you're having a hard time sleeping, you spray this on your pillow, boom, you jump right into bed, lay down on that pillow. What is going to happen to your sleep?
You're going to stay awake.
You will be awake, and you'll be saying, gosh darn, those aromatherapy people, they knew nothing of what they were talking about. Trust me when I tell you, you need the hour and a half. You need the time to let it dissipate. If for some reason you do jump into bed and you go, gosh, I can't sleep, get out of bed, go get some water, turn the pillow over, open up a little bit, open the window up a little bit if you can, and allow some of that to exit the room. So, keep this in mind. I hate to say there are some guidelines. We always tell people, use this how you want, use it as a body spray, this and that. But just understand, if you're using it as a way to go to sleep or as an aid to go to sleep, you definitely want to make sure that you are, that you're doing it wisely. So give it about an hour and a half. I'm going to give you another real quick tidbit of advice, if I may. If you are someone that has a hard time actually going from like, I'm up, I'm awake, I can't sleep, you actually have a hard time crossing the threshold into sleep, as they say, from consciousness into unconsciousness, 1 drop of peppermint. And I know we haven't highlighted that here in our products tonight, but 1 drop of peppermint on each shoulder blade, 1, 2, that's it, 1 shoulder blade, 2 shoulder blades, give that about an hour and a half. That actually normally is a stimulant. However, when it's placed on the shoulder blades and has the ability to deal with the central nervous system the way it does, it actually allows us to relax. It's the kind of thing where all of a sudden maybe you're reading a book. I've been reading a great trilogy, and there are moments where I'm reading and then all of a sudden I just take a deep breath and go, God, I'm exhausted. I've got to get to bed. It's that feeling. And it allows you to say, you know what? Your mind goes, I'm done. I'm tired. I need to go to bed. That's what peppermint on the shoulders does. Just one, as I mentioned. Don't go any crazier than that. Otherwise, you're going to be up all night. It does act as a stimulant usually. All right. So that is our spray. Easy to make. Very easy to use. If you're going to use it as a body spray, it's absolutely gorgeous. Use it on your body. Again, the Jojoba allows you to use the product on clothing because it doesn't stain, which is nice. If I were to use something like olive oil, that's going to stain, and olive oil is going to have its own specific scent. Remember, Jojoba does not carry any scent into the product. It just allows those beautiful essential oils to come through. Because there's a little bit of Jojoba in here, because there's a little lavender, a little made Chang is actually great for the hair, believe it or not, for hair follicles. I might want to just spray it a little bit on my hair, not soak it, but that Jojoba is actually something that's really good for hair and for building the hair follicles. And I may want to use it, let's say, in a room. I can use it as a diffuser without the Jojoba. If you are someone, we have a load of diffusers around. I don't know why we haven't had one out here when we're doing a class, but use just the distilled water, and you can even add a little bit more of the essential oil. It's a beautiful, beautiful diffuser blend for any room whatsoever. You want to check, are we good with questions and stuff? Yeah. All right, we're good to go. I just want to make sure we're doing the right thing here. A really beautiful product, easy to make. We actually take longer to show you how to make it and to describe everything, but once you get the ingredients and you start mixing this, it takes, as long as you have everything right in front of you, it could probably take about a minute to make, not even. We can probably make this blindfolded at this point. We make so many of these. This is a product that I myself personally use. Megan uses it, my son uses it. People that, that ask us for a recipe that's really effective and yet really easy, and all of these are very popular essential oils. This is the recipe that we give people. It is absolutely gorgeous and really, really effective. Now, what else can I do with this? Well, I can use this as a body spray. Well, I can use this as an air diffuser. I can use it as a room spray. I can also make a lotion out of it. Now, here we have an unscented lotion. And unscented lotions can be found right at your stores. Wild by Nature has, I'm trying to think of places locally. You have Cornucopia over by you if you're over in Sayville. Your Trader Joe's, your, what's the one across the street from Trader Joe's? I know, why can't we think of it now? Anyway, Whole Foods, thank you. They all carry unscented, usually organic lotions. If I can give you a really quick company, there's a company called Alba, A-L-B-A. They make a bunch of different lotions. The one you want is the unscented, organic, paraben-free, fragrance-free. Parabens and phthalates, they are also phthalate-free. These are concerns for especially women in the endocrine system and anybody experiencing menopause or anything like that. You want paraben and phthalate-free. I personally go after paraben-free because I'm highly allergic to parabens. They are shelf life extenders that you will find in canned products and things like that. They are the cousin of citric acid. I can't go near them, so I need a product like that. Another company, if you're going to go down to the Trader Joe's area, Cornucopia I think carries the same. Definitely Wild by Nature and definitely Trader Joe's. There is a local company, and again, we like to support local. They are called Stony Brook Botanicals. They were graduate students at Stony Brook University, so that's the reason they named their company. They have a very nice, very clean, plant-based unscented lotion, and Alba is another one. We use this one as Aromatics International. All plant-based, organic, phthalate-free, paraben-free, fragrance-free. Fragrance is another thing I'm allergic to. So we really, do our research, because if I'm not careful, these products can actually undermine my health. So anything that we make here, and we tell you if it's paraben-free, phthalate-free, please know we've spent time looking at these products because again, we have major sensitivities to them, and that was the basis for Amadeus Aromatherapy originally. So this is a great plant-based unscented lotion, and we're going to take our same exact mixture. I'm going to move this stuff over. This time around, though, we've got in here, this is about 2 ounces of unscented lotion, and we're going to put 5 each this time around. of lavender, Roman chamomile, and Mei Chang. I want that same relaxing, restful scent. Again, you don't have to use these. You can mix and match. Maybe you say, well, I love something called ylang ylang and geranium, and I love Mei Chang, or I hate Mei Chang. There are so many substitutions. For every essential oil out there that you don't like, there is something you can substitute with it. It may not smell exactly the same. Certainly lavender and Roman chamomile do not smell the same, and yet they have the same exact benefits. You good?
Yeah,
okay.
Sorry.
The same exact benefits. There's another one. Let's say you hate lavender, but you can't find Roman chamomile. There's another essential oil out there. It's called Neroli, Neorli. That does not have a very strong scent. It has a very subtle, very sweet scent. Same exact benefits. It is antibacterial, antifungal, antimicrobial. It is great for rest and relaxation. It has a sedative-like effect on the nervous system. So they're really, really wonderful. Megan's also put in the Mei Chang. Now what she's going to do, this is about 75 times. I want you to watch her as she does this. Megan gets into the zone. If you've ever been in classes with us when we make lip balms and she starts pouring the hot liquid wax into the different lip balm tubes, she almost seems like she's not with us, and she's not. What happens when you're usually mixing this? I know you're on camera, I know this is live, so it's a little different.
I get focused on it, and it's kind of relaxing.
Oh, that's the aromatherapy part of it, right? So not only is aromatherapy so effective for our senses, but it has this effect when you're making, it's almost like kneading bread. You're paying attention to it, you have to think about what you're doing, and yet you get into the zone. If I can give you another phrase that explains it. And in order for us to truly blend this, she's got to mix it about 75 times, right? 50 to 75 times. You can use, in this case, you want to hold that up so people can see? It's a glass stirring rod. Think of science class. Love it. You can use a chopstick. We get our chopsticks from a company right offline who's, again, American made. And you can also use a regular old silver spoon. Please don't use a wooden spoon, as silly as that sounds, because I have a wooden chopstick. When you use a wooden chopstick, it's a little smaller, it's thinner, and the product doesn't stick to the wood as much as it does, say, a wooden spoon. You're going to lose a lot of product that way. Alrighty? Same silver spoon, absolutely wonderful. This you can wipe right off. We never lose any product, so anything that's extra, you'll see us wiping it off and maybe rubbing it on our hands or something like that. We try not to waste too much, and I'm going to do that right now so you can see me. I love this product, and that's right now. Normally in our classes we'll have paper towels, but when we're here doing this at our house, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't let anything go to waste. And Megan's going to add that to our jar. So you are the third class like this week. So I have been building my jar. This will get used every single day. I can use this product head to toe. So I told you before that I make a brown sugar and jojoba mix for my face so that I clean my face with it. Then I go along and I take a toner. Now the toner can be anything from a witch hazel hydrosol toner that has no alcohol. I use frankincense hydrosol, and people will say, well, what's a hydrosol? Think of lavender water or rose water. We call it rose water and lavender water, but what happens is when I go to take lavender, let's say I go to the field and I harvest lavender. Lavender comes back to a farm. It goes, usually these days, it goes in a gigantic farm truck, and it is brought to a barn. And in the barn, the farmer has, a tractor or whatever, a front end loader. They take the lavender and put it into a gigantic vat. If you've ever been to any kind of distillery, whether it is, here in Port Jefferson Village where we are, we have a couple beer distilleries. If you go out east, there's a vodka distillery, things like that. And now the product goes in, it gets sealed, and the temperature gets turned up anywhere from 120 to 140 degrees. It truly depends on the product itself and how much is in there. And it goes on steam for anywhere from 19 minutes to about 40 minutes. When all is said and done, and the distiller has cooled down, the actual vat has cooled down, the farmer goes in, opens it up, and what he has now is a product like lavender that has sweated itself out. So you have water from the steam. You will have a layer of essential oil up on top. That's what they want. They want to harvest that layer of essential oil. That gets taken out. Well, what's left below is this steamed water that still has chemical constituents or components of the lavender. Same thing happens with rose. Same thing happens with witch hazel. There is no essential oil of witch hazel, and witch hazel can be found wild all over Long Island. One of the nicest witch hazel shrubs I've ever seen is right out by a place called Prosser Pines, which is out in Middle Island. It's wonderful. It does not really bloom until the fall, and when it blooms, it's this really pretty, cool, delicate flower. But we can't get an essential oil from the flower or from the leaves or the roots or the stem. It just doesn't bear an essential oil. But if I want those beautiful chemical constituents of it, I can steam distill it. And that is what we call a hydrosol. That extra water, whether it's lavender, rose water, witch hazel water, in this case it could be lavender water. Whatever the case is, I want to take that water and still use it. And that is actually an aromatherapy called a hydrosol. It's got its own special name. You'll start to see them around. They're actually becoming very popular and very trendy. So I do my jojoba and brown sugar mixture, wash my face with that, pat my face dry because I want that oil to absorb in. Then I come along and I use a hydrosol. This particular week, I've been out harvesting my rose petals. I don't spray my roses. I make sure my roses are in very good clean soil. I will take rose petals and I will actually make a rose petal toner out of it. It's wonderful. Rose is great for the skin. It's wonderful as an astringent. It's wonderful for mature skin. And it smells terrific. So I will make that, I will spray that on, and then I will come and use this lotion. I use this lotion right on my face. This particular one is not very thick or emollient. It will not stay on the face very long. It absorbs in pretty quickly. I can use this on my hands, as you just saw me do, anywhere, my arms, my legs. If you are going to use it on your feet, some people, especially this time of year, we're running around in flip-flops and sandals, and all of a sudden you look and go, gosh, you know, I had a pedicure, my feet were great, now they look really dry. Some people, their skin is like really cracked, especially if they've been at the beach a lot, I feel like. You can absolutely use this on your feet, but you have to put socks on because you will slip and slide, and you know, we would never want to see you get hurt. It's the reason in our classes we don't use glass bottles too. We would never want to see anyone drop one and get cut or something. Now, how do I use this on my feet? You have to wait till either at night, or you have to wait until you are going to be sitting down somewhere quietly for a while. What we always recommend is put it on your feet, let it absorb in for a few minutes, and you don't have to sit there and just let it absorb in. Give it a minute, rub it in, you know, help it out. It's a very, you know, usually unscented lotions tend to be quite light, so they absorb in very nicely. Each one of these essential oils will absorb in quickly with it as well. In our case, the unscented lotion is our carrier oil, like the jojoba, so it's allowing the product to go into your body safely. Now, once you do that, get it in there. Your feet are still going to be slippery, so take a pair of socks, white socks in particular, and if you can get a brand new pair of socks, that's wonderful. My husband used to think I was bringing home these packages of like the white men's tube socks for him, and he kept going, you just bought me them. I said, yeah, well, what I would do is I would take his socks and turn them inside out and wear them at night. He caught on pretty quickly. Why turn them inside out? I want the outside. I don't want the absorbent side. So if you put your foot into a regular old pair of socks, the inside of a pair of socks is meant to absorb sweat and any moisture and smells and stuff like that. I don't want that. I want my lotion to still work. So I want to turn them inside out, get the wicking part, which is the outside part, onto my skin, and this way my lotion will still work and it will still be absorbed in there. So, is that a question? I'm not quite sure.
No, Sable Library posted a picture of witch hazel.
Gotcha. Thank you, Sable Library, for posting a picture of witch hazel. So that is basically how we do this. This is also a product. If you can keep it in your refrigerator, it is wonderful. It feels so cold and it is just so refreshing. It feels wonderful. It's excellent for after sun. It's great for sunburn if you've gotten a little bit too much sun and you want to reduce any color. Lavender in particular is excellent, as I mentioned earlier, for burns. Historically, it has been used for that. It's also great for redness, so it will reduce redness. So maybe it's the redness from a little bit too much sun. Maybe you are someone who has some rosacea. This cream is wonderful for that. It really reduces inflammation. It will reduce redness. It is excellent for bug bites also, our lavender. Same with the Chang. Roman chamomile is great as a scent, but it doesn't really chase any of the bugs away. Lavender and Chang are excellent as far as bug repellents go, but they're also great for bug bites. So if you are, this time of year, there's a lot of stuff out there. The mosquitoes are kicking up, we've noticed. We've definitely noticed a lot of gnats all of a sudden flying around. They are no-see-ums, which are those little bugs that they call them no-see-ums because you can't see them. They're annoying if you're spending any time out in your yard. So, this is an absolutely beautiful product that's not only great for a lotion as far as moisturizing, but because we have the essential oils in it, because it is plant-based, because it is organic, it's unscented, it's phthalate and paraben-free, and fragrance-free, it's also great for some of the other things that can occur, like bug bites, like sunburn. Lavender Essential Oil also is excellent as a muscle reliever, so that's another thing too you can use it for. Roman chamomile also the same way, and again, they're both reducing any kind of stress. I use this morning and night. I'm not gonna lie, when I'm walking out the door to work, although things are a little bit different now, it is a great way to leave my house and feel a little bit calmer. We all get a little bit nervous. I don't care how long people have been doing their jobs and careers, or if you're a student or whatnot, what the day is going to bring, sometimes you can never tell. So this is an essential oil combination that really allows us to kind of let go of that anxiety. Our Chang, again, is so great at allowing us to kind of clear our mind, not think about the 75 things I have to do, or this could happen, or that can happen. I always say Chang takes away the what ifs. Like, what if this happens? What if that happens? A little situational anxiety it helps to reduce. And then, of course, our lavender and our Roman chamomile really just kind of calm us down. Now, I'm not going to say you're going to be driving around in a sedative-like state where you're in a haze. Absolutely not. That's why you don't want to put in 25 drops of this. You always want to keep it on the lighter side. You are still going to smell this product. It's very strong, even with just a few drops, and it is going to really be very powerful with only a few drops. So you always have to remember, in essential oils, in aromatherapy, safety is our #1 concern. The fewer the drops that you can use and have a really great effect is the way you want to go. Meg, is there anything else that we want to cover? Let's just say also, really quick, that you would like to say maybe you don't want to use distilled water. You can absolutely put in witch hazel. Maybe you want to use this as more of a toner or something like that. Again, we use witch hazel hydrosol. It's going to change the scent though, I'm not going to lie to you. Witch hazel, whether you use the store-bought, which does tend to have anywhere from 9 to 14% at least rubbing alcohol, has its own scent. Witch hazel hydrosol has its own scent. So it's not going to be the same scent that I'm going to get out of my product with just distilled water and jojoba, which is why I specifically make it this way. I can also throw in some aloe vera. Aloe vera gel is very nice. You can cut that with a little bit of distilled water. We actually talk a lot about that in our healthy hand sanitizer class. And you can cut that with a little bit of water, distilled water or witch hazel. But again, it's going to have its own distinct smell. So if you don't mind a change in the scent, that's perfect. It's a whole nother way of doing things. You can even take any one of these oils on their own and mix that with a little bit of aloe vera gel. And if you want to grab that one over there, I'll show you really, this one's called Lily of the Desert. This one, we usually get ours from Aromatics International, and I talk about that company a lot because they're great to deal with. We can't get it from them at this point. It is, we are living in such strange times, and usually I get it by the gallons, and I don't this year. Right now it's on back order, so I'm waiting for mine to come. This is an excellent substitution. It's called Lily of the Desert. This one comes right from Wild by Nature, totally plant-based. All of them say 99% aloe vera, unless, again, you get the one from Aromatics International. They're not like that. But you got to look at the 1%, because sometimes the 1%, when you see what that extra 1% is, it's all sorts of things. One of them has parabens in it. I can't go near that. This one is not. This one is aloe vera gel. There's a little bit of citric acid. If you're buying it at a store, you're going to have some kind of preservative. And there's one other product in here too, that very safe, very clean. product. It's really, really, really good. So that's another alternative as well. So if you use these on a daily basis as best you can, I mean, you know, you forget here or there, but if you make a routine out of using them, I think that you're going to find that you're going to rest a little bit easier. You're going to learn how to relax a little bit easier. Also employ some really nice, you know, routines, like making sure you get to bed at a great time, making sure you're not drinking coffee. They say after, say, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, making sure that at 10 o'clock at night you're not having, say, chocolate ice cream, because chocolate has caffeine in it. It'll definitely keep you awake. And you know, this is a beautiful product that again will help you go to sleep, but it's also great for your skin. You can use it all over. And using your lotion, this is going to give you that really nice relaxed feeling. When we're rubbing lotion on ourselves, it is very relaxing. It's a form of massage, which is really, really nice in itself. And that helps to relax our central nervous system too. So with that, we hope you learned a little bit about using essential oils, some of the 3 that we highlighted here tonight, and using them in a couple different products in different ways, and that you will be able to go out and make your own product now and enjoy them. And please make sure if you do make it, keep it out of the light, keep it off the heat, and more than anything, use it in good health. So we thank you so much. If you have any questions, we'll give you a moment to type those in, and we will be good. Okay, we have a little bit of a lag, so give us a second. Okay, I think we're good. I don't think we have any questions tonight. Let me just double check. We have some people going in as we go, so I would hate.
Just a thank you.
Oh, thank you for coming, Paulette Longo. We appreciate it. All right, I think that's it for us. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye-bye.